Hello and welcome back again to Behind the Keys with Jack. Today, this is kind of so random. I am going to be talking to a dear friend of mine who I seem to, the last 8 months, really fall in love with her work. She's really recognized on really, I hate to use this word, but bedazzling, people's visions from purses to sneakers to envelopes to mailboxes, the whole bird cages. There's a lot of things that this young lady does to really step up the game in the wedding industry, and most importantly, leaves a big impression. With over 137,000 followers, she's still growing tremendously. She has a celebrity status clientele, and just most recently, which I'm actually honored, that last night, literally about 12 hours ago, she had an event at the Legacy Castle, which was one of the big ones for her. It was a Gypsy wedding. And I want to turn my camera to the one and only Angela. Angela, hi.
Hi.
You look so pretty this morning, this afternoon.
Thanks.
It's 12:23, 12:28. So, Angela, how behind the keys, this is what we do, and what we normally talk about is really kind of like how your business was established and, where you're at now, but it wasn't easy, coming from where you're at. But tell us a little background on you. Like, where did you start? Where did you start your business? Where are you from?
I think most people start, at least a lot of people that I've met, like from their own weddings.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I actually started, because we have a lot of like traditional things culturally that we do. And my husband's side of the family was not familiar and not interested in kind of like learning about that stuff. So I ended up doing a lot of the things myself for my own wedding. And then people started to take an interest to like, oh, wow, you do nice things. And I actually always had like a love for sparkle. But back then, they didn't really have too much stuff.
But how are you? You're based in LA, on the West Coast.
Yeah, LA.
So how is your market bleeding into the East Coast? Like you do quite a few events here. We did Stephanie's wedding early January, and last night you were at the Legacy, a Big Gypsy. Like how are they finding you? Because obviously
Social
you
media.
work through social media. That's all it is.
Yeah, I've grown through social media. Like, I can't even really say I haven't really spent money on advertising. Like, just recently I started posting on Instagram. You know how they can do the ads on Instagram now?
You could boost
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But other than that, it's just been like social media, and people just took a liking to my stuff and sharing. And then I did some celebrity things that, got that exposure.
Yeah. How many now? Let's just kind of go back to the foundation or where you first started. Like, do you remember your first event that you hosted? The first event that you knew that this was going to be the thing that you're going to do?
It wasn't an event. For me, it was an item. It was.
What was this item?
It was my first big bird cage.
Okay.
That, because culturally, like Middle Eastern people, we bring money.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody always watches this little box so no one steals the money. So I came across this bird cage, and I was with my mom, and I'm like, wouldn't it be cool to have something big so no one has to watch it?
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah, my mom's like my best
What's
friend.
up, Mom Dukes?
Mm-hmm. And like I always see this big cake.
Okay.
And then like I'd like to see like something leveled, like same thing on this side and that side. And so I was like, that would be cool. So you have a big cake here and a money box bird cage, and then people don't have to worry about someone like stealing it.
So this money box is what is like one of your first item that you created that really drew attention to who you are. So when did you start your business?
So I started to do little things like from my wedding, and then posting it online and stuff. But the big piece I really count from 2011 was the bird cage, because that's what put me out there. Once I posted that, people were calling me left and right. And then it kind of got to a point where people wanted it, and I'm like, oh, they're calling me and they want it for the same day, and I don't have another piece. So that's when I
Were you replicating like several pieces, or it's just one of a kind type thing?
No, different pieces. Like I didn't want the same exact thing,
Got it.
So it was like I created different items, and then I thought, okay, so I have silver, now let me do gold, and then I started to add on. Now I have a crystallized sweetheart table, pillars, cake table, all of those like accessories that you can think about.
What's the most, like, I guess, besides one of the most the iconic piece that you created, but isn't there? I think I saw something on your Insta that you created like this carousel. Mm-hmm. How big is that? How do you transport and do something like that?
Well, it's all in pieces. It gets assembled.
But you do this like at your house first. It looks like. Mm-hmm. You build this carousel in your house from like, I guess from just wood, cardboard. I mean,
Wood, yeah,
all
wood, and then actually that mortar was, the gate openers they have. That's the type of mortar that was used for that carousel. And then like certain pieces on there, I had a guy cut out like CNC machine, like those top pieces that were around. I don't know. I imagine things in my head. I kind of like know how to put things together, and then it's either I'll hire somebody to do those things for me, or like my husband will build it, depending on what it is. And so I envisioned what I wanted. I draw it out. Then I sit there and explain it. And there's like a lot of arguments that happen because people don't get what I want.
Right.
But then eventually they get it, and
I feel like you sign your checks with crayons because of the way you think. It just seems to. I know you're a little. You. Thank you for giving me the little bit of energy you have here for me, because it means so much from a gal from LA coming out on the East Coast. So this is my only opportunity to interview someone like you, because you really set the tone pretty high when it comes to like these little custom pieces. Aside from just the carousel that you created, I know we did this wedding together, Stephanie and Chris's wedding. You did his sneakers. What else? You did the champagne flutes. You did the cake, right? Is that?
Big cake, the dummy cake, her bouquet, her brooch bouquet.
And she found you through Insta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, through Instagram.
Wow. So how's that process now? If someone finds you through Insta, I assume you have a whole protocol of like how to fly you out. You have like certain event design fees, the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah.
So how's that process if someone from like Georgia calls you and say, hey, listen, Angela, I need you to build me a custom alligator, bedazzled alligator.
Alligator? Where do you get an alligator?
I'm thinking Georgia, so like,
So first I need to figure out obviously what item they want. Then I need to figure out the cost. Like for the good example would be what I just did here, right? Mm-hmm. It took me a couple of months to get a quote out to them. Usually people do this over the phone with me. This client particularly wanted to meet me in person, so she flew me out for a meeting. So they cover my expenses, a fee for me to come out. And we met, we talked about what she wanted. I kind of sketched things out on the spot, but then I go back and then I think about, the design, and then based on the design, the measurements, I then have to figure out how much am I spending on raw material, how much it's going to take me, to make something, like how many hours I'm going to have to invest into actually sitting there and crystallizing it. Because there's buying the raw material, the labor of building it and stuff, and then there's also how much time it takes to crystallize something.
This process is not like easy. This is like
absolutely not.
Like, something like the carousel. How long does it take to just? What's the term? Bedazzled or jeweled? Like, what's the correct term to use?
Crystallize.
Crystallize.
People say I say crystallize. People say bedazzled, bejeweled, whatever.
Do you get mad if people call you like the crystal girl? Do you get mad? Because I know you do a lot more than just crystallizing stuff. Like, what else do you do? I mean, tell me more. I want to know more.
So, it started off with the bling, actually, right?
Okay, so we call you the bling girl.
Yeah, just a bling girl.
I wish I had my mixer here because I usually have air horns and samples, but we're winging this one today. So. But you do more than just like those details. Like, what else do you do aside from just?
I also do event planning. Event planning came along as like a side thing because I don't know what it is with me. I really do genuinely care about my clients being happy, and I tend to go out of my way and do things that are not part of what like I'm supposed to do. So I'd walk into a ballroom to deliver my pieces, for example.
It's okay.
And I'd go in to deliver my pieces, and then I see things that are not supposed to be like, I start picking things up, and then I would be like, why am I even doing this? Why am I paying attention to this detail? And I figured like I do enjoy that part. So now I don't focus on the planning part because I am busy with this part of my business. But when somebody does ask me, do you do planning, or if I feel like this is a client I would want to work with, I'm kind of like vibing with the client. Mm-hmm. Then I say, by the way, just so you know, I also provide this service, and that's how I ended up doing the planning part of it.
Now you do this full time.
Absolutely full time.
Married woman
Yeah.
with kids, and somehow you're amazing at what you do because like you're really going full all in. You know, it's not easy for a lot of people, especially parents. It's not easy to do this full time. So, is there any type of thing like I guess how can I say this? All right, how many if you're a full time event planner, designer, how do you actually like? Let me rephrase what I want to say here. Rewind. It's 12:20, 12:38, 12:38, 12:38. What I want to say is this. A lot of full-time people do about maybe 100 plus events a year. How many events are you personally doing right now?
In the event planning part,
Planning and design part.
I can't even keep like track of, or like I can't even say, hold on, design like meaning designing the whole event.
Yes.
No, I don't really do that as much, or the planning. I can maybe say like 5, 6 in a year, because I don't focus on that. But as far as like items that I make for events,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't even keep track. It's my full time.
It's over 100, I assume.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way
So then,
over 100.
so how do you make time for family?
I work in the middle of the night.
That is true because I did see that. It's 4 o'clock in the morning out. No, forgive me. It's like I go to sleep at 3 in the morning, and then I'm jumping on your gram for some reason, and it's like, all right, I see that's only midnight over there. I wake up 7, and you're still working 4 in the morning in your kitchen.
Well, see, the thing is, like for example, like this project, I literally did work round the clock, and everybody kind of knew that.
Are you proud of yourself with this project?
Yeah.
How many times have you used this carousel or this?
No,
this was like a. Well,
this was
explain
a-
what this was. This was interesting.
This was a stage,
Mm-hmm.
2-layered stage with pillars and the whole thing on top with flowers. It was used for a wedding dress. They display what they gift the bride, like her shoes, her tiara, bouquet. All of that has to be on display.
How long did that take to make?
Well, I got a deposit when I was in back in April, and since then, like June, I have to say June was when I had everything prepared. The Cinderella. You haven't seen the Cinderella carriage. I
No.
haven't posted it. I crystallized.
You did show me. You did show me videos of when it rained, and I think I saw your carousel outside in the rain when you were
No.
breaking. That wasn't it.
No,
There was a carousel outside.
no, that was the Cinderella carriage.
The
So
carriage.
it's a full-blown Cinderella carriage.
Uh huh.
That they use to wheel in kids. So I crystallized that and the stage, everything was ready for me to do my job in June. So that's when I stopped taking orders. So June up until now.
Can you tell me like some of your clients, like which are the toughest clients that you've had that really kind of like push your buttons?
I'm not gonna answer that.
Well, you could listen. You don't have. You could leave the name out, but there has to be a client or two that really knew how to push your buttons and took advantage of someone like you. But you still got it done. You know. How did you overcome
mean
something
like
like
that?
that?
I thought you meant a specific culture. Okay.
Oh, culture. If you want to go in, that's fine
no.
too.
I'm not gonna say that.
I already know which one that one is, but I won't say. I'll leave it to you.
Yeah,
But like,
no.
how did you overcome something like that? And and go in detail forms. Like, what was this event? Well, why was it so difficult?
I actually have to think about that one.
Okay.
You know why?
Why?
Because I really go out of my way not to have those issues. And I have to actually think about that. I can't.
Well, you got to
think
go
of it
back into
until-
2011 when you started. So it's like probably the first time has to happen around the year or two into your business. No.
Yeah, but back then I was doing like very small little accessories, and I was working full time. Like I used to be in HR, so it wasn't like my main focus, and I didn't have enough business where it's like I could mess things up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was more. I was focused on little things. I have to think about that one. That's a good question.
All right. Well, we'll get back to that. But do you know one of your best events that was like smooth sailing, and aside from just executing a fantastic event, it had to leave some great impressions with so many guests that you got more business out of it. Do you know which event that was?
Well, it's kind of hard to answer that because, like, this one that I did for last night, that, I mean, I had people coming up to me right there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, wow, your hands, they're made of gold, blah, blah, blah. You know, they say really like nice things, but it was a very difficult event.
I can see
an
that.
easy event though, like,
Well, can you explain more about how difficult, like why was it difficult?
because culturally, it's not something that like we're used to a very organized event. This is why there is a planner, right?
Mm-hmm.
For example. And then for me, it was difficult because on top of doing the planning part, I also created some really big pieces that I was responsible for, assembling and all of that. And I was just actually building them myself. So, but they don't follow like a normal structure of a normal wedding. There is no guest list. People just arrive. And a timeline is like, why do we have a timeline? But then there's important things that you have to do throughout the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, it's like a...
So we're talking about last night's event, which is a
Yeah.
big gypsy wedding.
Yeah.
And it was about, I guess originally contracted was 500 people, but what came out of it?
Yeah, I think like 800 people.
800 people came out of this. So there were some major challenges, But what other challenges did you have with an event like that where things are just unorganized, Can you please share with us?
Jack, you're such a...
I'm just asking because there's people in your position that are also like, they work full time, and they're looking a way to get out of what they're doing. Like you were in HR. So there had to be something that really pushed you to do this full time, and that's fear is what stops everyone. But now that you got the fear out, you got this confidence, you're building this great name, there's going to be obstacles that come your way. So if there's anything that you can share with us of like, how did you overcome it? Is it mind over matter? Is just drinking whiskey before you go? Like what does Angela do besides?
When I'm in a position where I'm pushed to get out of character, I guess, I think about like my clients, because for me, I think about tomorrow. Will they want to hire me again if I get, out of character and start arguing with somebody or whatever? How is that going to, I don't ever want to mess up an event for my clients.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make the process smooth. I want to leave them with happy memories. And I really focus on this because going back to my wedding, I didn't walk away from that like, I really enjoyed this day. It was all about, why did this person do that? Why did this vendor not do what I asked for?
Oh.
It was a very unpleasant. So when I think back, it's not about we're getting married, it's our day. That's where like my whole thing came from. Like I want to make
this is a common trend. Mm-hmm. It happens to a lot of people, and this is what gets them going into like, what? I want to be a florist. Hey, I want to be a planner. Hey, I want to be a DJ. Because on their wedding day, their vendors failed them. A lot of them failed them, and it's like, wait, how could you mess up like seating arrangements?
But that's one thing. But also for me is making sure that they are happy, like family wise. There's a lot of the time family makes things miserable too, And so like when I go into it, I'm like, my bride, I want her to walk away from this like remembering that day that
you
she
have
was
such
happy.
a West Coast like vibe.
What do you mean? Why? How?
You're just very tranquil. You're all about the bride, which everyone here in the East Coast is the same way. We're all about the clients.
Okay.
But I think we're pretty tough. We're pretty like stern. We have like this type of armor on every time we go into a wedding, because to us it is war sometimes, where we walk in and there's like, it's not just one wedding. There could be several different weddings happening in one venue. We're fighting for the elevator. We're fighting for like the.
Oh yeah, I've experienced that one.
So there's a lot of things that
here.
happen. Oh, and of course in the East Coast.
Yeah, here.
Because it's a wedding factory. But you realize here in the East Coast, because we have more opportunities to kind of grow in diversity and culture and different types of like visions, it just bleeds out more to the West. Even though West is really bougie. I've done an event in LA. I was disappointed. I did an event in LA. They paid the same amount of money over here, but they were only feeding us for cocktail hour. It was like 2 items. I'm like, I'm not used to this.
You know what I noticed, by the way, as far as West Coast, East Coast weddings, West Coast focuses a lot on like the decor. It feels like out here they do also focus on the decor, but the bride herself will be fancy. Out there, the bride will be in a simple gown, but the decor is like out of the world.
Basic bitches, huh? No, listen. My West Coast clients are friggin' dope. Like they're into hip hop, but like, you know what it is? Every time I went out there, it was the style that I presented was quick mixing. It was like quick club style, but also I had to finesse it with a lot of like professionalism, and you know you have to be very polished. Polished to really direct an event, especially coming from the East Coast, because we come with like a lot of energy, and we're pretty different. You know, you can definitely smell if we're like different. You know, if we come out there.
You know, I have to say that venues out in the West Coast are a lot easier to work with than out here.
I would say so. You guys have only two. You guys only have 2 seasons.
What? Oh, well, yeah, because we don't have like the snow and stuff.
We bitch and complain when it snows. We bitch and complain when it rains, which you experience. You even told me. You even said to me, you know what? This is why I hate the East Coast. You know? Because it downpoured on your shit. I know it. We saw it. So we got a lot of mood swings happening over here. But other than that, I mean...
But okay, I get that. That right there. This was the first time I experienced it, and it really. I was just like, at one point I was about to cry because I was like, oh my god, my stuff's getting ruined. And then like when it happened for the 3rd time, I was like, well, someone really hates me. Like, what's happening? I started laughing about it. But what I mean about venues is like you guys are really strict. Like the venues are strict. The whole elevator thing, for example. Yeah. Okay, I get it. There's only 1 or 2 elevators. Okay, but like they're very strict about time. It's more relaxed, and even like there's certain venues, like if they're good with you as a planner, they will let you come in the day before, and the client won't even get charged for it. They're like, okay, sure, come in, set up your stuff if they don't have something going on. That's not how it is here. No.
And you know why? There's too many planners that are coming out of brand new. There's too many DJs. There's too many vendors that are coming out in this industry with 0 experience, and they have this mentality that this is my show. I'm going to come in there, become a boss, not a leader, and it affects the whole aura, especially with venues that are familiar with the constant rotation of different vendors. You know, they know us, they know someone like you, they know the type of details that you provide, but it's these new vendors that are coming out are really ruffling feathers, and that's why they're being tough. It's like, wait, this is not your house. This is not your house. They're rude to the venues. They're kissing too much ass. And these venues don't care no more. These venues are like, listen, do your job, make it easy. That's how you get our attention. I've been preaching that on this damn podcast for a while. Stop kissing ass. Your work is your resume. That's it. As a DJ, the dance floor is my resume. I don't touch your flowers. No one touches my stages. Okay? You know that?
I know about that. So
no one shares my stage without my permission?
When Jack and I met, for the listeners, he kicked me off his stage because I was just trying to have some fun and dance.
She wanted to have a little fun with me, yes. No.
Hey, you are the first DJ that kicked me off their stage. I'll say that. Every DJ is like, sure, dance. I have fun. I harass the DJs.
It was
You're
my
diva.
it was it was my way to say, you know what, Angela, the next time I'm gonna have a bigger stage for us. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Because you're a diva and you can't share your space.
But anyway, all right. So like, let's talk about a little bit more of like your planning process though. Do you use a certain program to like plan, or are you still doing paper and pen or crayons and coloring books? Like, what do you do?
Coloring books.
Go ahead.
Why do you do that?
Oh, there you go.
So, no, because, for example, I always kind of go by like whatever the client needs. I know a lot of planners have like this, here's my diamond package. I don't do that. And maybe that's wrong. but it works for me and it makes my
No, you sell an
clients happy.
experience. You know what it is? You don't sell packages. You sell a vision. Totally different.
Here's why, though, because with me, I'm not just this is what I'm offering and that's it. With me, they can get all of their accessories.
Okay.
All right, so it depends on what they want from me as far as my rentals, my accessories, the things that I can make for them, if they want my cake or whatever it is. So that's how I build a custom package based on what they want. So I never sit there and like have this like cookie cutter type of
Things are itemized. You don't do that. It's like,
I just
this is
don't.
the
And
price.
it works for me.
This includes a dove.
Yeah.
This includes an owl. You're gonna put a piercing in an owl. That it includes all that. Like you
Yes,
really get
yes.
that detailed.
Uh-huh.
I like that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But it works for me, and my clients seem to be happy with it. One thing that I always hear is they're happy to go to a kind of like a vendor where they know what they can offer. They know that they're going to get what they see, you know, and they don't have to go through 10 different people.
That's good. That's good. So, your company is over 10 years in the making, and it's only you, just you. You sub out your staffing, right?
It depends on what I need.
Okay. And it's easy for you to find staffing out on the West Coast?
West Coast,
Yeah.
yes. It's easier because I also have like,
You
family.
pay them by cash, or you pay them with like 80 like payroll? How do you
No,
handle
cash.
your cash?
Cash, yeah.
Okay. Don't worry, I'm not with IRS. It's just
Yeah.
this is just we want to know more about your secrets, like how you do this, because I realize, and I'm honored to have you here, because I realize you are the only one that has this type of this trait, this niche. Like it's really rare to find something like that. We have it here down the street, like in Passaic, which is like part of the hood of Jersey, and there's a lot of like iced out stuff, but nowhere near as close as yours, because your stuff is way too elaborate. It's like FAO Schwartz type stuff. Which, you know what that is or no?
No, what is
No.
that?
It's like the most bougiest like toy store ever. It's like really. If I asked you to bedazzle a car, you'll probably do it 10
Yeah.
times better.
Yeah, that's actually like my dream project is to bedazzle a car.
Really? All right, I'm gonna get you a smart cart, and then I want you to bedazzle that for me.
Okay.
What would you name the car?
I don't know. Barbie. We'll do a pink color for you.
You would name the car Barbie for
kidding.
me.
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
So I have some. I guess this is a sample. So what I'm gonna do? You sent me a gift. I'm gonna open this up. Okay, I'm gonna show you my camera. You sent me this gift, and I know we've been talking about it for, I don't know, maybe 8 months now since I met you, and you did a really decent tape job. But it's funny. Why would you mail this out if you came to Jersey?
Well, because I don't have room in my suitcase.
For this.
I had to bring crystals, extra material. Like I don't just.
Right, okay.
So I just had a lot.
So I'm gonna
of
open
stuff.
this up here because I have an idea what it is, but I haven't seen the full product. I'm gonna wear it today, maybe.
Wear
So.
the black one. Oh, you should wear the.
I'm gonna see what this is all about. Okay, she does a great tape job too. Thank you, Angela. I love your work though, because I've been creeping on like all your clients, previous clients, and what you've done for them, and it's like it's really cool. I like to see that type of stuff. You have an interesting hobby.
I mean,
can't
the
say
thing
hobby,
is-
an interesting talent that is unmatched. All right.
The thing is, I think that with I don't mean to like sound like.
Thank you so much. I don't
Oh,
know.
you got tissue paper.
I always wanted this paper. Look, all right.
See, you should wear that.
I'll wear this today. It's funny because my driver's license has a bow tie.
Why?
Because you're not allowed to smile, and you can't. Yeah, you're not allowed to smile in Jersey for your new license.
Really?
Yeah. So I went in there with like a guinea tea and just put a bow tie on. They didn't even see it, and they took a photo of me with a bow tie. I'll show you my license.
Wait, why can't you smile? That's so weird.
I don't know. They just don't want you to smile. This is heavy. This.
Well,
and
it's
you did
crystals.
this?
Yes, those are sewn on though. They're not glued on.
You sewed this on? Mm-hmm. How do you look at this? Look at that.
Some crystals that I work with, some are sewn on, some are individually placed, some are like kind of like a sheet type of thing, you know.
How do you sew this on? That is crazy. Let me see if this works. All right, I'm gonna wear this too.
You have to adjust it.
Clearly, thank you, Angela, for being such a great friend. All right, I'm gonna put this on. This looks great.
That's what you should wear to lunch.
I'm gonna wear this for lunch today.
Dude, I dare you.
And look at this. That's fire. I don't know if you could see that, but it's bedazzled or blinged out. I think I keep saying bedazzled.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's all the same.
Are these the hats that I sent you?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
You forgot?
Uh, Look at that.
I just took the sticker off the front.
That's okay. So this is some of her work. I mean, obviously, this is just real basic, but this is next level. You can't find this anywhere, I assume.
No, you can find those things.
This?
Yeah, those things. Yeah, you know what you can't find is you cannot find like something as big as like the carousel or the Cinderella carriage.
Yes.
And you know what? I've actually searched. I wanted to actually know, do these things exist? You know, has anybody else ever made them? And I haven't seen that
No.
on that scale.
It's way too difficult to create. It's way too difficult to maintain, and it's impossible. Like for people to have storage space to do something like that, such as this piano DJ booth. You know, there's a niche. There's something that we have going on, and if it works for us, but it's also you
And that's what I liked about you. Because
Continue, say
I'm
louder.
attracted with my eye gets attracted to something that's like different because, you know, I think in our industry we're so used to seeing kind of like over the top, and so
Yeah.
I think it's harder to impress us. Like if we go to a wedding, for example, yesterday. People might see this and be impressed by it. There's certain things I wasn't impressed by because I've seen it before. Like my eyes are like, you know, different. So are yours. So when I saw the piano, I was like, that's cool. That means
So you
his
would-
brain works in a different way, and I
I have
work
a
in a
brain.
different.
I have a brain.
You sure?
That's awesome. Now you would probably like ice this out, I assume.
Absolutely, I would.
Yeah. How long would that take to do something like this?
Oh, it would probably take months.
Really? It's one
It
at
depends.
a time?
Actually, depends. It depends what kind of crystals I use. See, like the stage, even though it took me like months to do, but I was also doing a lot of other things for them as well. It wasn't just the stage.
You did a stage. What else you do?
I did a big Cinderella carriage.
I saw that.
I did champagne glasses, cake knife server set, all of those like cake accessories, a big sword for cake cutting,
Impressive.
4 money boxes because
Well, obviously from 500 to 800 people, that's a big jump. And a shout out to Legacy though, because like they somehow are prepared for this type of culture. They know they're ready. They have security outside. It's like people are sneaking in. It ain't easy to control something like that.
Yeah,
but
they really did, and they actually were very helpful yesterday too because they were watching a lot of like what was happening.
Who'd you work with,
But
Brandy or Michelle, or who'd you work with?
last night?
Yeah.
Michelle, and then Cameron
She's
was
amazing.
amazing.
Michelle's
Cameron was
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, she's really.
No,
really
she's always amazing. She's my friend, forever. Okay, Angela.
Yes. Okay.
Brandon's cool too. I feel like I'm a Chippendale with this.
I mean I don't think I've come across anybody at Legacy that wasn't nice to me.
No, they know. They're also smart. Like they see what these vendors are about. You know, there's a reason why they question so many vendors before they come in. Do you have insurance? Do you have this,
Yeah.
that. And the owner's daughter is like on top of this too.
She's so sweet, actually, so helpful.
Awesome. She's on it,
Uh-huh.
and she has the insights of what's in and what's not. And these vendors that are coming in here, she'll know automatically like, yo, this vendor's gonna be a problem. So they're gonna be prepared to jump on top of this guy, like or her, or whatever it is. So, but all right. So I want to wrap up in a little bit here, but real quick with I want to talk more about like your drive. You know, obviously your work speaks for yourself. You're getting a lot of clients just because of your work, but there has to be some sort of motivation behind everything that you do besides taking care of your clients. I know you're 100% in, but there is something else that has to kind of like really get you going. What is it that really gets you excited?
So when I was working in HR, I was bored to death. And when I started to do this, like I get some kind of excitement, and it's like this is what gives me my high. When I do an event like I did yesterday where I'm able to create on like that type of level, that feeds me somehow. And I'm like, okay, when do I get my next like, you know, big thing or something where I can get that creative. I don't know, it makes me happy. This is
Really?
what this is my like escape. This is what when I, especially when now that I'm traveling for work and stuff, it's fun for me. It's not work.
How does your husband and family feel that you travel now a lot?
I think that, I mean, they're fine with it. My kids miss me.
Of
But
course.
then, I come back and I'm like, why is your room not clean? And they're like, okay, you can go back.
You can go back to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, my kids are older. So my daughter's 16 and my younger one is 10. So
Well,
they're
thanks for calling me to do her Sweet 16. Appreciate it.
all the way. We
Moving
didn't
on.
even have no, we didn't even have a Sweet 16, first
We
of
could do a Sweet
all.
17. Make it up.
Because I was working this. Hey, I turned 40 this summer too, but I didn't do anything.
I told the listeners that you were turning 24, so
It's all right.
just let it roll, okay?
It's okay.
Um,
40 and fabulous.
Of course, hey, and Divish. Are there any words of advice in your perspective, your position as a designer, planner, mother, wife? Are there any words of advice to kind of stay above water if people are going to go into this industry of yours that you want to share?
I mean, I think that it's just anything, not just what I do. I think anything is hard. And I think that if you put in work into whatever it is that you like to do, eventually there's going to be some kind of outcome. I really never really thought that I would get to this point, and I've had really bad moments where I'm like, oh, people are copying my work, and that means I'm not going to have
That hurts.
business. In the beginning, I'm not bothered by it anymore.
Right.
I'm not bothered by
Why?
it anymore.
Because you know you're the shit.
Well, I'm not trying
'Cause
to
you know
sound
you're the
like that.
shit.
No, I don't want to sound like that.
I'm the host.
But-
I can say that because like they can't copy your creativity and your chaos. That's how I see it.
Because, first of all, you can't match my work ethic. Quite honestly, I say this with a lot of confidence because I know I work like really hard, and I've had people like, oh no, I can't do this stuff. Like they try, and yeah, they just can't keep up with what I do. I know I work myself to death. Sometimes I'm like dying. Like last night I worked all night, all day, all night, and then I came back to my hotel room, tried to fix those issues so my clients can have the pieces in one, in one piece. And now I'm here. I haven't slept all night, and a lot of people can't do that. I literally had my sister-in-law call me on my way over here, and she was like, "You haven't slept? Oh my God, I would be dying."
You don't sleep.
I-
Like I said, I'm watching you at night. When I'm about to go to bed, I see you're starting a project. By the time I wake up, you're still finishing your project in your kitchen. It's like, then I'm confused. Like, I think you're psychotic and I think you're nuts. But then again, I feel like I'm the nuts because I'm watching you at 7 in the morning when I'm waking up.
Stalker.
I know, right? Creep. Ugh.
So I don't know.
Right.
I just think that it's not easy. I've had people think that it's easy. They come, they start to do something like that, and then they linger away. Like you see that so many companies in the beginning came out like, oh, I'm starting a business, but then all of a sudden they're gone. And
They follow the stupid hype on social media. Like, they think they can do what we do, and then that's what happens. They realize, oh, you got to actually work.
yeah, you have
I
to.
can't do this.
And you work harder when you work for yourself. And that's what people don't get. And I have people say, "Oh, you're so lucky." I'm not lucky at all. I work
hate when people say
hard.
that.
It drives me insane.
I hate when people say, "Oh, you're lucky." When you're lucky, I feel like I want to throw something at them when they say that.
Drives me insane.
It's like, how you did not see my social media? Like, every day I'm in, I'm out, and I'm the first one in, I'm the last one out. I've been telling everyone that to be a good leader in an industry, and you're gonna get recognized by your peers, but most importantly, the people that are surrounded by you. Like, they need to be inspired. They need to be motivated. You want to open up doors for them to be great at what they do. Temporarily they're here helping all the time, but there's always careers here. We do that all the time here. But people come and go. That's how it is.
And then plus, in my head, things work like differently. I look at things and I think like, if I see something, I think, oh, like, okay, if I go shopping, right? My mind goes to, oh my God, can I do this for my bride and groom? Or can I turn this into...
Where do you shop?
Well, I'm just saying, okay, like if I was to go into Home Goods. let's
Hermes.
just-
Oh, Hermes.
Oh, don't even...
Are you a
In
Hermes
Bronx,
type of
no,
gal or
no,
Gucci
no,
type of
no.
gal?
Oh, I gotta tell you a story about that, but not on here. You're gonna laugh. I totally butchered the name. And
Oh,
Roxanne,
Hermes.
they said something like
My
that.
Roxy.
Yeah, I totally butchered the name, and it was just a funny
All
thing.
right.
Yeah, if let's say I walk into Home Goods and I see items, my mind works like, how can I use this at a wedding, and how can I crystallize it, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like going shopping because I'm going shopping for like myself. It's just weird. My mind is weird
I'm the
that
same
way.
way. I'm the same way.
Really?
I'm a person that reacts like I see other people. I like obviously when I do the bride and groom's wedding day, I do more than just look at them. I look at the reaction of the guests as to like not just what music's being played, but I love to edit songs. Meaning like, for instance, like your daughter. I like to edit her voice to add to, you know, the music she chose with dad, or she's dancing for her sweet 16, and I change it up on dad, and dad has no idea, but your daughter's leaving dad a message, and oh dad, you raised me to be strong. I love you. I'm always your little girl. Then the song comes in. I like to see the reaction. I like to see when people cry. Like that's when I know I got something good going.
It's funny that you say that. Like there was one job that I did when I was a planner, and they did a first dance. And you know how I have the whole thing with the fog, how I love that fog. There was a moment that I was like, do not turn on the fog until that word. And I was like literally watching second for second. And I was like, no. It's just like those moments make me happy. I don't know why. It just like feeds my soul when
Because that's artistry.
Yeah.
It's like musicians when they start freestyling and vibing. They formulate something that's really organic, and it's beautiful to see. It's not like, all right, it's not like you just wing it. It's like you really need to be passionate about what you do to really create something that beautiful.
It was really nice because when the venue I worked with, they were giving me a really hard time with this whole fog thing and the
Which venue was that?
sparklers. It was out in LA.
Oh, good. Tell us who is it?
Anyway, so
Screw them.
So, but the funny thing is, the sparklers, they were just coming out, and so they weren't understanding that they're cold sparklers. Yeah. So, when this whole thing, I created this whole moment for their first dance. It was something I envisioned in my head, and then they came up to me and they said, now we understand what you were trying to do.
Does it feel great when they say that?
Yeah. I was like, see, I told you. Just
And
had
then
to
you
listen.
walked around with your ass up and like, I'm leaving. All right. So in this camera, right in front of you, plug your name, plug your gram, your TikTok, the viral TikToks that you've done. How can we find the one and only Angela online?
Angela's Fantasy Creations.
That's it? On both platforms?
Yeah, it's on both. I use the same name on all of them.
Okay. So we're okay with people to reach out to you if they have any questions and stuff like that? Are you willing to help them out?
Yes. I mean, if I said no, like, would I be in business?
Do you fear that people might copy you too much if you give them too much insights of what you do?
No, because I've realized that you have to put in a lot of work. What I do, you have to put in a lot of work. And it takes a lot of patience. It's not for everybody. And plus, I'm not everybody's cup of tea either. It's not that easy to, like, gain that business either. You have to gain the trust, and people have to be able to trust you to handle their weddings, and then, I don't know, I don't know. I don't think that it's that as easy as I used to think it is. I've learned that, it's not as easy, and
Okay.
yeah.
Well, Angela, thank you. I know you had only 30 minutes of rest. But,
No, I didn't have any rest.
all right. Well, it means a lot that you joined us here because, like, I've been trying to get you to do this, but you're here live. This is great. Because of you, we're going to reach 1 million views. Okay?
Oh, okay.
From Home Goods because you plugged them. All right. That's that. I don't have any other
Hey,
questions.
you know what? I had that video on TikTok. 18.7, I think.
And that was
18.7 million.
Chris Ball's wedding.
Yeah.
When he was holding your knife.
Isn't
and
it
the
funny?
cake.
The weirdest thing got so many views.
With the, what was it, like 7 seconds?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, 16 mil?
18.7.
You know what? It could have been the music and the lighting that allowed him to do that. It could have been what I was playing in the background. Like I said, there's a formula, there's a chemistry.
We'll replay that video. I wonder if there was any
You need to hear the music because he was in sync with the music. and the lighting and the pageantry. Oh yeah. All right, Angela. I'm gonna stop. Any other thing you want to say? Because I gotta cut this up. Hopefully, I get a good 40 minutes of this.
I didn't get a red carpet.
That's your complaint.
Yep.
Did you make that purse?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna show this to the camera, so no one can find this. Oh my God, this is heavy. The belt is heavier. All right, so,
Well, yeah.
hold on, I want to show this. So this is Angela's purse. Is that B?
AB.
AB? Okay, cool. I
That
get
was
it.
totally by accident, though.
But like, the purse is like a feather, but this gold chain.
Well, crystals are heavy.
But you use like, it's not like plastic. It's like crystal.
No, it's real crystal.
like you use. This is real crystal. What I'm having.
Yeah, so if you were to
What about this? This is real crystals.
Yes. So if you, well, those are little, so you're not going to get hurt. But like if you have the chunky stones, right?
Look at this.
And
I feel
they-
like this is a chain. Look, you just damaged my. Look at this.
So if you were to drop crystals, they literally cut, and they can cut you like glass. I don't use anything plastic. That's the one thing I don't do, is I don't use anything plastic.
This is badass. You did this?
It's so that, for
Let
example,
me show the
is a
camera.
rope that comes in the bling, and then you weave it. See, I came up with a design,
Yeah.
and then now I actually have people in China who make it for me. But you come up with that design. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. There's certain things that I could do like
What's in
that.
your purse? Can we see what's in your purse? Clearly, it's light. There's nothing in here. Well, put this over there.
I have well, a wallet, keys.
Wally keys. Okay. Pepper spray? You're on the East
No.
Coast. You just fight. That's all. You use your Armenian string
Oh, you finally remembered.
for once. All right.
Thank you. For
That's
having
it.
Me.
Anything else? Bye. Goodbye. No.
Thank you for having me.
Please continue. Just keep plugging us. I'm going to hear it. Look at the camera and say, this is one of the best interviews I've had. Go.
This is one of the best interviews I had. Thank you for having me. But I didn't get my red carpet.
Okay, we're going to end right there.
You better not cut out the red carpet part.
It won't be cut. This is badass. Well, thank you, Angela. Now we got to race to